For this section, we are going to be looking at financial mathematics, and we're looking at FM 30.1, which is coming out of Chapter 1 and Chapter 2 of your textbook. For the outcome FM 30.1, you need to demonstrate understanding of financial decision making, including analysis of renting, leasing, and buying, credit, compound interest, and investment portfolios. For the first lesson, we're going to be looking at 1.1, simple interest, and by the end of this, you need to be able to compare the advantages and disadvantages of simple interest and compound interest. So for this section, we are focusing on the simple interest, and the next one we'll look at the compound interest. So when we're looking at interest, it's the amount of money earned on an investment or paid on a loan. And there are two types of interest calculations. We're going to do simple interest, which is based on the original amount invested, which is called the principal. Or we're going to do compound interest, which is interest earned or paid on both the principal and the accumulated interest. So yet again, for this lesson, we're focusing on simple interest. Next lesson, we'll look at compound interest. For calculating simple interest, there is a formula, and it is I is equal to PRT, and we'll get into what those mean in a minute, as well as there's a simple interest future value formula where it's A, which is the future value, is equal to the principal plus your PRT, which related to the previous formula is the amount of interest you earned. So to simplify it a little bit, your future value is equal to your principal plus your interest. So what do these letters mean? So the principal, which is the P, is the original amount of money invested or loaned. So that's what you're putting in. The R is your fixed interest rate. So an interest rate that is guaranteed not to change during the term of an investment or loan. The interest rates are communicated as percent for a time period, usually a year or per annum. This per annum means per year, which is abbreviated to /A. Interest is entered into the formula as a decimal. I'm going to underline that piece because that's really important, because whenever you put a percent into a formula, it's got to be as a decimal. Okay, then we have the term, which is the T. That's the contracted duration of an investment or a loan. So usually you're going to have this loan or this investment for X amount of years, your T. Then the other terms that we're going to use is maturity, which is the contracted end date of an investment or loan at the end of the term. So when a loan reaches maturity or an investment reaches maturity, it's the end of whatever time period you had picked out at the beginning. And then future value, which we use A for future value, is the amount that an investment will be worth after a specified period of time, or the term. A couple other things is the rate of return. So that's the ratio of money earned or lost on an investment to the amount of money invested, which is the principal, and is expressed as a percent. So the formula is the rate of return is equal to the interest you earned, or I, over the principal, or P, times 100. So what does that actually look like? So for an example, we had Marty invested $2,500 at 2.5% simple interest paid annually with a term of 10 years. So what that means is this simple interest is calculated each year for 10 years. Now, a couple key things here is, how do you know you're doing simple interest? It will specifically say in the problem, simple interest. So when you see simple interest, you're going to use this formula. Moving forward, we're going to look at compound interest, and it will specifically say compounded X amount of times in a year. So those are the keywords you're looking for, either simple, so it's simple interest, or compounded, and then it's compound interest. So how I like to do these, I first figure out what I got, and then I use my formula to figure out what I don't have. So the things that I'm going to be looking at is I need to know what the P is, which is the principal. I need to know what my R is, which is my interest rate. I need to know what my T is, which is the term, or how long my investment is. And I need to figure out my I, which is the amount of interest I've earned. So for this one, my principal, so the amount I invested, is this 2,500. I'm going to write that for my P. My R, which is my interest rate, which is what the percent is 2.5%. But when I enter it in the formula, it's got to be changed to a decimal. So I'm going to change this to 0.025. And again, if you can't remember how to change a percent to a decimal, all you do is divide by 100, because percent means per 100. So divide by 100. And then I need my T, which is my term, so how long my investment is. So I got 10 years for that one. And the interest earned, I don't know yet. So I'm just going to put a question mark, because that's what I'm trying to find. So I've got everything that I have, and I have what I'm looking for. So now I'm going to use the simple interest formula to figure this out. So my formula is I is equal to PRT. I don't know what my I is, but I know what my P is. It's the 2,500. My R is the 0.025. So remember, it's got to be in the decimal form. And my T is 10. So once I have all that, I'm going to take my calculator. So I'll bring my calculator in here. And I'm going to punch it in. So I got 2,500. I'm going to times that by my 0.025. I'm going to times that by 10. And I got 625. And that finishes that problem. So now we have, what is the future value of the investment at maturity? So my future value, which we usually represent as an A, is equal to my principal plus the interest. So in this case, my starting amount was 2,500. My interest is what I figured out in the previous problem, was the 625. So again, the 625 was the extra I earned on this investment. I add the two together. So I pull out my calculator again. So 2,500 plus the 625. And so I get 3,125. 3,125. So when this investment ends, I'm going to have $3,125. And that's the end of our video.